Okay, so yeah, VGT Adam here. So E3 is still going on, and I just watched the Xbox and Bethesda conference because they had a joint one because Bethesda was bought up by Xbox and yada yada. Anyway, so I'll say right off the bat. Well, actually, before I say anything, I might have a reaction video, but it's not going to be on my channel. It's not going to be like the reaction videos I normally have. It's going to be on I think another channel. I will put it in my reaction playlist if it's ever put up. And I might put a link to it in the description. But there might be a reaction video, and it might be the full stream, so it won't be just little weird highlights like I usually do. I just want to say that, so keep an eye out for the description if that's up in time, or just take a look at my playlists. But before that, so yeah, these are my thoughts on the Xbox Bethesda conference. So I would say overall, like even starting out overall, it was good except for the Bethesda parts. There was like one Bethesda part that was maybe one or two Bethesda parts were alright, and Bethesda just dragged the whole show down. 'Cause Xbox had a pretty solid showing, honestly. Like I'm legit surprised. It was kind of good. Problem is they started with Bethesda because Todd Howard came on stage and like was talking about this new game Starfield, which I mean we have more than a title now, but it was just a CG trailer, so like not really much to it. And of course, my computer's freaking out because why would it not? So then they talked about Stalker 2. I don't know much about Stalker at all. I just clearly it's Russian. I don't know if it's Russian made, but it's based in Russia. So there's that. Looked kind of cool. There was some cool weaponry. That electric gun was pretty fucking sweet. So there's some cool stuff. I don't know if I'll get it though. What else? Have to go through the stream like always. Okay. It was Back for Blood, which is just, Left 4 Dead, but not. So, it was cool, but I don't really care personally. Oh, what was this one? Shit. Oh, yeah, there was the new game from Avalanche, the people who made Just Cause, I believe, Contraband. It was only a CG trailer, but apparently it's an open world game from, like, what the CG trailer showed. I don't know much about it. The next thing was an update to Sea of Thieves, where it's a crossover with Pirates of the Caribbean, which was really interesting. I actually saw that coming. The people I was watching with didn't until they saw Jack Sparrow. But yeah, Sea of Thieves crossover with Pirates just kind of makes sense, and I'm surprised Disney would actually let them do that. But hey, it's cool. So don't play Sea of Thieves, but it's pretty neat. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 probably did it better because you actually are in the world and you're playing with the characters. But I mean, it's a Pirates game, so this one makes sense. But hey, I can't say it did it better. I never played Sea of Thieves, but that's just my bias. Anyway, they showed Battlefield stuff, which looked actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna play Battlefield, never played it, but what they showed off, sure, it was kind of scripted, but whatever they showed off was pretty neat. They had to plug Fallout 76, of course, because why not? Even though the game still looks like ass. Elder Scrolls Online they showed more of. Don't really care too much about that. I mean the art style was cool, but like the gameplay of Elder Scrolls never ever hooked me. So like it's not something I'd be interested in. Plus, Final Fantasy 14 is just wrecking all other MMOs right now. So they showed a little bit of Party Animals. I remember seeing clips of this. It's kind of like Gang Beasts, but not exactly. Looks like it's a fun, cute game. Very physics based party wrestling game kind of thing. It's cute. It's fun. One of the highlights of the show, despite the fact that the game's already out. It's cool. What else was there? Let's see. This Hades. Okay. They showed off this game from the makers of Limbo and Inside. We don't know too much about it, but it looked really neat. What was it called? Somerville, Midsommar, whatever. I don't know too much about it. I love the art style of it though. It looks like you're trying to, like, you and your family trying to escape something, par for the course with these kind of games. Or Limbo is like, you're trying to figure out your way out of Limbo, and then Inside was, I don't know specifically what Inside was about, but like you're clearly trying to get out of something. So it's another one of those kind of games, but it looks cool. What was next? They showed up more of Halo Infinite, which has a grappling hook, which is cool. I mean, it's Halo. Like, it's hard to fuck up those campaigns, even though I know some people are split on 4 and none of them really like 5. But the game looks better compared to last time, which is good. Halo Infinite at least looks better. And then there's gonna be multiplayer, of course, but the way they advertised it was kind of confusing. It was like they made it seem like they were two separate games. Like, oh yeah, they're both launching at the same time. It's like, well, no shit, why wouldn't they? But like, they made it seem like the multiplayer was its own game, and the single player was its own game. When it's not. It's just the multiplayer is a free to play thing. Kind of, I guess, kind of like how Rockstar does it in a way. But the way they advertised it was just really confusing. But yeah, it's Halo. Personally, I played Halo 1 on the PC. I played Halo 3 on Xbox. I never owned them. They were just... One of them was from school, funnily enough. Someone downloaded onto the computer and caused a whole bunch of issues. Computers, homeroom computers, whatever. Halo 3 is from a friend's house. That's all I've really played. Never been too big on Halo, but I do know it's a pretty fun space bibble game. I hope Infinite does well, though, because, Halo... It's somehow, like, both obsolete and not obsolete at the same time. I don't know if that makes any sense. But just, like, it gets so overshadowed nowadays. Like, people forget, like, this is one of the most important games for consoles. And the fact that it's still going is a good thing. That it didn't fizzle out too much. Or it doesn't, like, get stale, like, say, Call of Duty. I mean, it maybe, I guess, it got a little stale around 5, I suppose. Maybe 4 if you're pushing it. But hopefully Halo Infinite, does well. And they had some intrigue with the story mode and everything. And then I mentioned this before in the stream I was in. I don't know the voice actor for Master Chief, but it's a tie between him and Xemnas for like sexiest male voice. And obviously, I'm a straight man, but it's sexy when a straight man says that some other male voices are sexy as fuck. But yeah, so they show up the multiplayer. There's a remake of Diablo 2. I was never big on Diablo, but I don't know, maybe that might make some Diablo fans happy. A Plague's Tale 2. I've never played the first Plague's Tale. I heard it was really good, so it's interesting to see where this would go. I should have noticed when I saw a bunch of rats, but like it's just not the first thing I think of because there are a lot of games that utilize rats. Far Cry 6 again. Again, that protagonist is hot. I will always keep saying that. Oh yeah, Slime Rancher 2. I've never personally played Slime Rancher. I watched a friend of mine play it. It's a cute game, I suppose, but now there's a Slime Rancher 2. So for anyone who liked Slime Rancher, there you go, Slime Rancher 2. These are very, I don't know, like, if you want, like, me really talking about games I'm really into, you're gonna have to wait for, like, Square and Nintendo, maybe even Capcom and stuff, but, like, I want to be fair and at least talk about these other conferences, so sorry if I'm just skimming through. It's just I don't really play Xbox Bethesda games. It's not too much for me to talk about, but I'm trying my best here. So, what was next? There was that one skiing game. What was it, Atomic Heart? Is that what that was? No, Atomic Heart was something else. What was this? This was, I don't know, snowboarding, not skiing. Skiing, snowboarding, whatever. Snow-based sports game. We've had so many of those. None of those really interest me at all. Shredders. Okay. Shredders, right. Okay, sure. No, that Atomic Heart thing was something else that looked interesting. It was a first-person shooter with just a bunch of, like, really cool mechanical designs for, like, a lot of things. I don't know too much about it, but that looked interesting. I'm hoping that's on more consoles, because if that's just Xbox, that would suck. I wouldn't mind buying this solely based off the whole, like, arts. I mean, it looks like a, realistic game, but, like, the specific art design for a lot of things, the specific art design for a lot of things was really cool, so that kind of hooked me. Is it? I know it's gonna be on Xbox, but I hope it's not just Xbox exclusive. Oh right, there was some game. I'll get to the name in a minute. Where like it has that pixely art style that's like it's possibly like it's a 3D model, but then they pixelize it and it just looks so smooth. I love that. There was some indie game, some indie action game that did something like that recently. Like it was a really cool cyberpunk kind of game with some really smoothly animated sprites and everything. It looks really cool. I might take a look at this. Replaced, that's what it was. Replaced. God, it looks so cool. I don't know much about it. There's definitely some stealth aspects. Obviously some combat, some platforming. I don't know too much about it, but God, that art style was just gorgeous. Like, dear God, was that good. Yeah, so Replaced was cool. I'm gonna keep my eye on that. They showed off an expansion for that Grounded game, which I completely forgot that game even came out until I was reminded that it was nominated for an award at the Game Awards for I forget what this like for disability, like it was a good game for like disabled people to play, like very inclusive and stuff like that. I forget what the thing was, but like it turned Anyone who's arachnophobic, it has a slider, so you can just make them look less like spiders, kind of thing. But yeah, there's a new update for that. Among Us is coming to Xbox. Among Us is coming to freaking everything. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes to NES at some point. Right, there were this game called I don't know how to pronounce this. Eiyuden. I'm gonna pronounce it Eiyuden. Eiyuden. I don't know. Eiyuden Chronicles. There were two ones. There was 100 Heroes and Rising. Similar art style to that other to Replace. Not the exact same. It was kind of like a mix of Octopath and like I don't know some other like. Think of like JRPGs that had sprites that get like updated sprites where they look more like humans and like the sprites are a lot more detailed. But it also has a very Octopath like art style and like the way the camera moves with like to the sprites. That looks interesting. If it's turn based, it's an immediate turn off for me. It just looks so cool, but I hope it's not turn based. It probably is. That's probably why Rising's the thing. But yeah, you had the Heroes and you had Rising, which looks like a lot like oh god, what the hell was the name of that game? Oh, I'm forgetting now. Shit. Dust and Elysian Tale. It kind of looks like that. That one I might pick up, honestly, because like the art style is a lot more like Dust, honestly. It doesn't look like the Octopath one, like the 100 Wars. Was it 100 Wars? 100 Heroes. 100 Heroes is. But that's pretty cool. I've never heard of these. I don't know if this is a franchise or not, or these like are just literally two new games that are just being released around the same time or being made at the same time. That'd be interesting. But those were really cool. Eiyuden, I don't know. Eiyuden Chronicle Rising, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. I hope it's not Xbox exclusive. I really hope it doesn't. There was that, The Ascent, which was a tactical shooter in the same vein as like XCOM. Don't really play those games, but it looked neat because it's Cyberpunk and that's my favorite of the punks. You had a Age of Empires 4. I never really played any of them. I think I was one point I did have Age of Mythologies, but I never even bothered playing it. But it's another Age of game. Looks pretty sweet. Just can't say too much about it. There was what was this game again? The Outer Wilds 2, which had the very meta and self-aware narrator, but not much to say about it. I never played the original Outer Wilds. I heard it's pretty good. So I guess this is just going to continue that trend. Let's see. Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is it's just Flight Simulator, but God, does it look gorgeous. God, does it look good. The lighting and in the shading and the textures and everything, which I'll save for another game coming up soon as well. But yeah, it's Flight Simulator, but it looks really cool, like graphically wise. And there's also going to be a Top Gun update to it, expansion to it. Whatever. Is this it? Yeah, Forza Horizon 5. It's an open world racing game, but like Flight Simulator, God, the graphics, the lighting, the textures all look phenomenal. That's what happens when you like kind of scan in real world stuff. But like, God, it looks so good. Not gonna play it, but graphically, that is so impressive. Like, damn. And they go on kind of like explaining all that kind of stuff. It has other modes too, like you can run over pinatas and stuff, and some kind of like bowling thing. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of mixing things up. It's not just the racing thing. And then they showed off one more game, which was from Bethesda, but this was like the really interesting one. Redfall. Now, it was a CG trailer, so we don't know much about it, but it seemed like telekinetic people, or at least one person telekinetic, like people versus vampires. Psychic people versus psychic vampires kind of thing. Don't know much about it other than like I like the idea of it and where it's going. I'm so sick of like CG trailers and then we get the actual gameplay like 2 years later. Elden Ring. But I mean, I'll keep my eye on it. It might be the first Bethesda game I ever get if it turns out cool. But I'm not gonna jump on that yet. I don't think I've had a single Bethesda game. I've never played a single Bethesda game in my life. Like Doom's the only ones I came close to thinking about getting. I'm not into first person games. It's very rare if I play them. Yeah, but it looked really cool, like the whole vampire versus human thing. But like, you know, it's a kind of an equal playing field. It's not just like we're outnumbered or whatever, or like they're more like a horde than vampires kind of thing. So we'll see how that turns out. But that was pretty cool. Yeah, like I said, this is kind of a disjointed one because like I can talk more about individual games. when I have more thoughts on it, or I'm expecting them, which I might have for Square Enix if certain games show up. Can't do for Sony because they're not here this year. I might have for Nintendo. But yeah, besides Redfall, Bethesda one was just whatever. The Xbox brought their A game. They were pretty good. I think because Bethesda, they don't get an A, they kind of bring it down. But I think the Xbox conference was pretty good, all things considered. Something that's better than Ubisoft, I guess, as of right now, since how it's just two main ones. Oh, there was Gearbox and Devolver, but I didn't really watch those. One of the ones I watched was Ubisoft and Xbox. I think right now Xbox is winning. Don't know how long that'll stay because there's still Square Enix and Nintendo. So we'll see how that goes. But pretty good conference overall. I'm surprised. So yeah, like I've been saying this whole time, next is going to be Square Enix.